Man, it is wild down here, so I hope that you can hear me all right. So today we're going to go through 4 considerations when we change, or going through change, or rebuilding ourselves, okay? I think these 4 things will help you recognise just how tough it is, but also remind you not to be too hard on yourself. Alright, let's get on with this. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Boardman, and if you are coming through, please do hit the love heart button. Please do comment and let me know how you are doing, where you are watching from, what your favourite part of the week has been, okay? Or what your biggest win of the week has been, shall we say. And share this with somebody that you know or somebody else. Man, it is wild. We just did our walk, which is about 4k down that way, and then it started raining, so I nearly tried to put the umbrella up, and we're like nearly Mary Poppins taking off. It's mental down here, but we're snug and we're cozy, and we're ready to deliver the show. Alright, so there are, for me, there are loads of considerations when we rebuild ourselves. You know, when we decide to work on ourselves, when we start to grow ourselves, and we go through a change of identity and process, and we improve ourselves, there are always going to be considerations. I think these 4 that I want to share with you are pertinent because they came up last weekend. I think they're relevant within a lot of the people that I'm working with at the minute, and within conversations that I'm having. Alright, so let's get on with these. If you recognise these, then and you struggle with these, I want you just to tell me in the comments as we go. Alright, guys? Alright, so the first one is patience. Or should we say a lack of patience. So whenever we decide that we want to change, we have these expectations that we build in our mind, right? This is where I want to get to, this is where I want to be, this is how I want life to look like. Once we have made that decision or slipped into that chapter, we suddenly then want it quickly. Okay, I mean, over a process of long time, we've allowed ourselves to slip into the rut, into the trenches, but to get out of there, it doesn't take overnight. For me, if you look at it this way, there is no end game here. There is no end game. There is no end point where you go, man, mission complete, I've changed. Because when we do rebuild ourselves, and we do come out of our own mindset and our old ways and our old habits, and we feel like we're doing okay, it's then a game of evolution and evolving as we go along, right? It's how do I evolve this journey? How do I improve this journey? How do I take it to the next level? So patience, if you're impatient, you've got to start thinking a little bit more long time. This is going to take months. This is going to take years. You're going to get to a point where you think you're done, and then you're going to step out of it and you're going to become complacent. It's always about what's next, what's next, what's next. Where am I going from here? Okay, number 2, the negative self-chat. So there has to be, if you're going to change, if you're going to rebuild yourself, we have to build that internal positive voice, that inner dialogue. Telling ourselves that we are not good enough, telling ourselves that we're not going to achieve what we want to achieve. Dude, you are not going anywhere. You might as well rub your balls on a cheese grater. It's just as painful as going through that, alright? You have to continuously, every single morning, connect with that positive inner voice that you are achieving, that you are good enough, that you are building, that you can do this. That inner self-belief has to be there. Excuse me, has to be there. And you are going to doubt yourself as you go along, and as you progress, you naturally are going to doubt yourself. But that's where you've got to fight back, right? That's where you've got to do reflection work. That's where you've got to do perspective work. That's where you've got to start doing gratitude work. This has to be your journey, not your mates or not other people that you compare yourselves to. This is your journey, bro. Okay? Number 3, you have to know what your alternative is. If you don't show up, this is what's going to happen. If you don't get up when your alarm goes and you press snooze, if you resort to drinking, if you keep telling yourself you're too busy, if you are running around obligated to your career, if you keep forgetting or neglecting or not being present for your children and your wife, what's the alternative? And the alternative is not a pretty place. It's not a pretty place, right? You know, we are here for like a blink of an eye in the whole of the universe's reign. Like, we have this small opportunity to create something that makes us feel great, right? It's all chemistry in our brain, so it is all chemistry. And we overthink everything, and we think worst case scenario all of the time. But there is always going to be an alternative to you not grasping that opportunity to live. And when you really spend 5 minutes, or you really write down, or you take pictures of what life looks like in that alternative life, man, you would do everything that is physically possible not to be in that place. You would do it. And I, like, whenever I don't think about showing up, whenever I doubt myself, I think about that human being that I used to be when I left the military for those 3 years. That is my alternative. Very lonely, very bitter, very lost man. Don't want that. Nah. Alright, last one. Your bounce back ability. Now, I created this bounce back ability mentality a couple of years ago. And it's how you bounce back from knocks, distractions, frustration that creates and defines your character, your morals, your principles, your values. And that creates your process. Wow, it is wild out here. Being able to bounce back from a punch in the face that you did not expect is going to be your winning streak. It's going to be your winning streak. And it's going to be what makes you stronger internally, more mentally resilient, emotionally stronger. But if you wallow and you disappear and you bury your head and you go the opposite way and you ignore it, man, you're not going anywhere, bro. Not going anywhere. Alright, so patience, building a positive state of mind, okay, positive inner voice, your alternative, okay, understanding what that looks like, and then knowing, okay, what the bounce back ability is, alright, and how it looks and what you've got to do, because one bad day isn't one bad week, right, and one bad week isn't one bad month. Understanding that process, coming back, it's always being in the fight. Alright, amigos, listen, I hope you have an amazing weekend, okay? We're back to it next week. My half term is finished with the kids. It's been a lovely week with them. Oh, Jesus. I hope you can hear me, because it is, like, horrendous out here. If you haven't registered to the webinar yet, go and register yourself to the webinar. Anyone you know who needs help right now in terms of direction, in terms of where they're going with their lives, point them in the right direction. The link's here or in my bio or description. Go and check it out. Places are literally disappearing. I can't believe how quickly they're going. So get your seat. Get your seat. It's free. It doesn't cost you a penny. It's just allowing me to be able to deliver and practice what I deliver. All right. Have a good one. Let me know what you think of this live.